Hi everyone, welcome to the Snowbird Wednesday vlog, and this is Gloria Falls. I don't even know if you can hear me over the sound of the falls, but this was a heck of a hike to get up here, but very, very well worth it. I had to skip yoga in order to make it to Fellowship of the Rings Extended Edition at Valley Fair Mall. I think this might be the last day that I can see this on the big screen this time around. And so far, I'm amazed. Oh, this is one of the greatest movie achievements of all time. Lord of the Rings trilogy. Incredible.
The writing, which at first was as clear as red flame, has all.
Wow, that was intense. I've never seen any of the extended versions of those Lord of the Rings movies, but I thought there were just some like extra scenes that were thrown in, or just extended scenes, but no, there's a lot of little extra stuff added all throughout. So you can tell that this was the Fellowship anyway, at least. I don't know. I'm gonna turn around now and see Two Towers in 20 minutes and extended. And then tonight, right as Two Towers is finishing, I got to run across town to a different movie theater so I can see The Dragon's Prophecy, which is another film that is not playing in any Megaplex movies. It's a Dinesh D'Souza, but I always have to see Dinesh D'Souza movies, and I have to see them in theaters. And it's interesting too, because you can't even buy the tickets through the theater chain. It's a limited release, and you have to get the tickets on the website, and it was only Monday and today, so the rest is all going to be digital only. And you know, that's cool. I get it. That's how I saw Bill and Ted Face the Music, because of COVID. But honestly, I really wish I'd seen it in the movie theater. There are very few movies that I would not prefer to see on the big screen. Probably more than need to be seen on the big screen, but there are movies like Lord of the Rings are absolutely big screen worthy. Now, I was driven to tears 3 times in Fellowship of the Rings this time, and they're all at moments where it involves Gandalf or Aragorn or Boromir. And I get misty-eyed, of course, with Frodo and Sam, and I do feel great grief when Gimli realizes that his cousin Balin has died in the mines of Moria, and when he realizes that the mines are, you know, none of the dwarves survived in the mines. Well, anyway, so I don't know if there's going to be more of this vlog today. I don't know if I'll have time to make more, but movies are amazing. They're just a miracle, and they magnify the sights and the sounds of storytelling, but they also magnify the emotions, at least for me. When that magic window opens and I get sucked into the world or the universe that's being created, even in a documentary, even in a true story, I still have to go through the magic window to become emotionally involved. Now I don't need the characters to be fully three-dimensional if the plot is elegant enough. So I'm probably a little easier to please than most people in that regard. But I do need the plot to be elegant. I need high concepts. And with Lord of the Rings, this is a story that I've had since 1980 or 79, when I saw the animated Ralph Bakshi version of Lord of the Rings in theaters, and then I read the books as a kid. And part of growing up wanting to become a filmmaker was so that I could do the Lord of the Rings live action movies, and darned if that didn't happen. But the thing is, when I watch these, I see things in all of the production elements where I realize I don't know that I could have ever realized the vision as well as has been done here. And tomorrow I will do Return of the King. But Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers, I think, are only showing today. So I'm watching 3 movies today that are only having showings today. It's weird stuff. Oh, I was gonna say though about the Sousa movie. It's an interesting distribution model. You can go and rent out theaters and sell your own tickets online and just control the exhibition yourself, the distribution and the exhibition yourself. And I think that is a major paradigm shift and a major model shift for filmmakers who want to distribute their own movies. You don't have to kiss the ring of every pope out there anymore in showbiz in order to get your movies seen. Same with booking club dates with comedians who, have a niche following. It's interesting. It's just interesting. I'm pondering it. That's all I'm saying. There are just more tools at a filmmaker's disposal, or at a performer's disposal, at an entertainer's disposal today than have ever been before, thanks to the internet and thanks to e-commerce. So we'll see what the future holds as far as this. Two Towers was awesome. I love, of course, always where Gandalf the White is revealed, and he says, "I come to you now at the turning of the tides." Always. I just want to clap, I just want to, yes. And I had to bail. Well, okay. It's interesting that I had to, because of how the timing works out, I couldn't do the Dragon's Prophecy on Monday. So I had to do it today. Yesterday, they didn't have any showings of the Dragon's Prophecy. Yesterday was October 7th. The film, The Dragon's Prophecy, has a lot to do with the events of October 7th, 2023. Yeah. Really good stuff. Really amazing movie. And from the perspective of someone who has grown up not only Christian, but part of the restored Church of Jesus Christ, where the mission is literally the gathering of Israel, the gathering of scattered Israel, not just the house of Judah, or the tribe of Judah, but all the tribes of Israel. And I don't want to go a lot into that, but it is interesting to see
what the world outside of the restored gospel of Jesus Christ understands just with the Bible and just with the now archaeological evidence that is coming forth as recently as 2000, early 2000s, the late 90s, or just the late 20th century and the early 21st century. There are proofs that are substantiating people in the Bible who don't exist anywhere else in history, like servants of King David in the Old Testament. Or what's really interesting is Pontius Pilate is not mentioned anywhere except in the Bible. But then they found evidence that Pilate was around at the right time in the archaeological record. And also Caiaphas, the bones of Caiaphas, dating back to the correct time of the life of Caiaphas, in an ossuary marked Caiaphas. And these are things that are coming forth now that have been buried for centuries, millennia in some cases, to substantiate the Bible. But look, it is probably in some ways the least political film D'Souza has made, and in other ways the most political film because of how politicized October 7th was. But either way, fascinating movie to watch. Probably won't get to see it now in theaters ever again, but it will be available for purchase on digital. Only probably on Salem Media, like 2000 Mules was. Every other Dinesh D'Souza movie has been available for purchase on all of the normal digital platforms like Amazon Prime and Vudu. But yeah, these last two, they're keeping a pretty tight leash on these things. And these are not produced by Gerald R. Mullen anymore either. So I wonder what happened with that. I wonder if there was a falling out. I don't know. I hope not. It seems like when Gerald R. Mullen, who was the producer, I should say, Oscar-winning producer of both Jurassic Park and Schindler's List, it seems like his career kind of ended once he started. Well, once he stopped working for Amblin, certainly, but once he produced those first few Dinesh D'Souza movies 10 years ago, 10 or more years ago, then I think he started to suffer, like most conservatives in Hollywood. So, conservative comedians, conservative filmmakers, conservative actors, they all are being, canceled and persecuted in very subtle ways and deniable ways. Just the way Christians have been through history, just the way, I would say, believing and practicing Jews, not necessarily ethnic Jews, but certainly ethnic Jews up until the dawn of Hollywood, and a little bit just before that with show business in general. But interestingly enough, it's probably people who should care more about the nation of Israel who are more on the left as far as people of Jewish heritage in show business. And who knows? I mean, people are still holding grudges from back in the last century when Hollywood was witch hunted, I guess, basically by the McCarthy hearings, and people were blacklisted for communism, for communist ties. And yeah, I think there are still axes being ground out there that translate over to today. So, unfortunate. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's always worth watching a Dinesh D'Souza movie, but they're getting harder and harder to get access to. I mean, very, very tight leash. So, yeah. Anyway, gotta go and sleep so I can... Actually, I'm not going to hike or do yoga tomorrow because I'm going to do a painting class, which is at the same time. It's kind of like right across both of those activities times. So, sadly enough, that is a thing that has to happen. I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but I want to do it. I want to paint. But I just yawned, so clearly I need to get a move on with everything and go to bed. All right, take care.